Hello, I'm Joseph Dillard, and welcome to our self-directed integral deep listening curricula. Today, I want to present IDL in the framing of a self-development methodology. Let's get started. Self-development falls into three basic categories. The first is remedial, addressing the traditional realm of psychology, psychiatry, and counseling. Remedial approaches to self-development deal with issues like anxiety, depression, addiction, abuse, and dysfunctional family relationships. The idea is that while transpersonal states are always available, higher stages of development are only available if we get unstuck, remove our filters, and develop our core cognitive self-system and moral lines in a balanced way. IDL addresses remedial self-development with interviewing, script analysis, escaping the drama triangle, and recognizing cognitive distortions, biases, and logical fallacies. IDL accesses stuck perspectives and interviews them as a way of understanding how and why we are stuck and what we need to do to get unstuck. It seeks to identify and question the utility of the life scripts we have been carrying around since we were born, to consider which messages or injunctions and assumptions we have outgrown and need to jettison, and which we need to keep because they have passed the tests of time. IDL also teaches how to identify enmeshment in drama in the three realms of relationships, thinking, and dreaming, and how to escape from it. It identifies our cognitive distortions, biases, and fallacies, and teaches us how to recognize them in media and others so as not to become more entangled in delusion. The second variety of self-development is adaptational and well represented by the domain of coaching. This approach to self-development deals with improving performance by overcoming procrastination, developing assertiveness, learning to set clear and achievable goals, and finding new, better approaches to problem solving. IDL addresses adaptational self-development with interviewing, goal setting, triangulation, which is a process of problem solving, and assertiveness training. On this level, interviewing emphasizes application and accountability. Healthy long-term and short-term goal setting in multiple major life areas is based on the input of others, interviewed characters, and our common sense. Assertiveness training teaches the distinction between passivity, aggressiveness, and assertiveness. The third variety of self-development is transformational, which is the core domain of philosophical idealism, religion, and spirituality. It deals with existential questions such as, who am I? Why am I alive? What is my relationship with the sacred? How do I become enlightened? How do I best interact with others? IDL addresses transformational self-development with interviewing, pranayama, meditation, and the setting of clear, well-thought-out intention. Obviously, there is great overlap among these three domains, and each tends to view itself as the key to the other two. Remedial approaches assume that if we just get out of our own way that we will be happy. We know this is true, but partial, in that there are plenty of people who are selfless that remain stuck in immoral or amoral behavior. Their intentions are golden, while the consequences of their actions can kill people. Adaptational approaches assume that if we are successful in our adjustment to our environment, that we will be happy. How many people do we know that are well adjusted to their environment in that they are wealthy, have status, are powerful, and healthy, who remain unhappy or toxic to others. Transformational approaches assume that if we transcend our limitations, that we will be happy. How many enlightened gurus can we list that are seriously flawed individuals? Like the blind man and the elephant, all three approaches are correct, but partial. When all three are taken into account in our approach, the result is much more likely to meet with success than when we place all our bets on one or even two. IDL addresses all three in a unique way, with recommendations of interviewed emerging potentials. Self-development is then placed in a context that is collective and transcends the self and its development. This reflects reality, in which, on all levels, our sense of self is embedded in and conditioned by collective contexts and realities. It is in this way that IDL moves beyond psychological and spiritual approaches to self-development, which generally focus on the development of individuals rather than the collectives which determine and condition their development. Thanks for watching. See you next time.